video, we will discuss about three modifiers of human act, namely fear, violence, and habit. We will give three examples for each modifier and cite applicable principles for each.
The three modifiers that we have chosen are fear, violence, and habits. Fear disrupts a person's mind when danger to himself or his loved ones is made known. This usually flows into a state of self-preservation for survival. Everything a person does under the influence of fear is voluntary, unless it is caused by extreme panic, in which case it is involuntary. Violence generally means any physical attempts made on another person for them to do what another person wants. If the victim completely resists, it is called perfect violence. If they eventually give in, however, it is called imperfect violence. Habits refer to any action that is acquired through repetition. People usually resist less when thinking about doing the action because it's ingrained into them. It can also be called second nature.
The first one is fear, and the example of this one is stand up to bullying. Bullying is difficult to handle, and there are no easy solutions because bullies target lone individuals and weaker groups to show their authority and create fear. And the second one is violence. And the example of this one is robbery victim. Robbery is one of the most serious and feared crimes, since the victim suffers property loss in addition to threats and actual acts of violence. And the last one is habit. And the example of this one is procrastination. It is the act of delaying and putting off tasks until the last minute or past their deadline.
So our example for fear is standing up to bullying, and its principle would be acts done in spite of fear are always voluntary. So how is this principle applicable? Standing up to a bully takes courage as it instills fear in an individual and prevents them from doing so. Managing as well as confronting one's fear as an individual and doing something about it is always voluntary, as it would take heart, effort, and mental strength to be able to do so. This is why standing up to bullying is an act done in spite of fear. Our example for violence would be being a robbery victim, and its principle would be human acts resulting from violence are involuntary by themselves. Being a robbery victim doesn't mean that the victim gave full or even partial consent for the act done to them. It is an act where the victim is placed in a situation where they are not in control of what happens to them. It is always involuntary from the side of the victim, as they are not at the least responsible for them being the thief's target as well as target of another's violence to claim one's property. So our example for habit would be procrastination, and its principle would be intentional habits, but with positive and constant effort to resist. As a student, we are often found guilty of this habit as we are often getting distracted by a lot of things around us. It is more apparent today where most of us are having online classes, and it takes a lot less effort to put ourselves in a situation where we focus less on urgent activities and more on easier activities instead. This habit is intentional as we are the ones responsible for managing our own time. It might be hard, but with positive and constant effort, we can resist procrastination and its consequences in our lives.